Hey guys, it's Haley. Hey guys, it's Thursday. I'm your host, Haley. This is the Baby Beaver Bunch, and this week we're talking about bullying and the Day of Silence. Day of Silence is a really, really important um, thing for me because I was bullied a lot when I was a little kid, and I guess Day of Silence kind of makes me feel like I'm doing something for other kids who are like me, who need the help, who need someone to just kind of say that we're not going to take it, and yeah, I will sit here and be silent, and you will, and everyone, like, when you're quiet for a day, people notice and people wonder why, and then you get to let them know why. I mean, really, you can't talk, but I mean, you can show them, you can write it down. Like, people, when you don't talk for a day, people notice, and it really does raise awareness. um every time I think of like the Day of Silence, or I think of like a pride parade or something like that, something really gay oriented. I know there's a lot of straight people out there, or even gay people, who think that it's unnecessary to have like a pride or protest days. Like, if we really want to blend in, we'll just be like everyone else. No, we don't want to blend in. Eventually, the ultimate goal is to blend in and be like everyone else, so no one even questions you with what you do. But right now is a time for change, and in order to get what we need, we have to be loud. We can't just blend into the crowds right now. Right now is not the time for it. Eventually, we hope to. But right now we have to make the changes happen before we can, I guess, get used to them. If that makes sense. Coming from someone who was bullied really badly as a kid, like, things like this mean a lot to me. When I was younger, there was a group of boys who were about 2 years older than me, or 2 grades above me, and they really, really picked on me a lot. I mean, I dressed like a boy, I talked like a boy, I acted like a boy. I kind of wanted to be a boy, basically. I wanted to be one of the guys, and they uh, they couldn't let that go. I remember one day they were playing baseball, or like a bunch of kids were playing baseball at lunch, and I went over and asked them if I could play, and they said no. And when I asked why, I got a rock about the size of my fist slammed into my face, and I actually have a scar right between my eyes from that day. But that wasn't even the worst thing they ever did. I think that the thing that I'll never forget, the worst thing, the thing that hurt me the most, was one day they all got on my bus. They don't take my bus, but they got on my bus after school and rode it. And they all sat where I sit, so I was sitting there, and they were all sitting around me, and I was just thinking to myself, "Oh, I'm gonna get it today, aren't I?" But no, they didn't hit me or anything like that. But what happened was they had all picked up a spider, each of them, before they got on the bus, and they threw them at me. And I mean, it's not so much. I mean, obviously, I'm terrified of spiders, and that really scared me, but it wasn't so much the actual act that hurt me so bad. It was the fact that at that point I realized they hated me enough to personally want to terrorize me, and being hated that much really, really hurts. So that was one of the worst days of my life, and it's kind of because of those guys that I went through a whole phase where I was like a whore, and I dressed like a girl, and I wore really, really tight shirts and like low riding jeans. I just wanted everyone to erase what they had previously thought of me and think of me as something else, someone that, wasn't boyish, didn't want to fit in with the guys. I wanted them to kind of see me as someone who wasn't going to grow up to be a dyke, obviously. That's pretty much all I wanted. So I went through a whole phase where I wore girl clothes and stuff like that. And toward the end of that phase, I really, really started to hate myself, to the point where I thought about taking my life a lot. I thought about it a lot. We won't go into detail with that. I thought about it all the time, and it got to a point where I would look in the mirror, and the person I would see just didn't match up with how I picture myself. and it was just like looking in the mirror and seeing a complete stranger. I had no idea who that person was, and that was one of the lowest points in my life. And it was then that I decided that I wasn't gonna do it anymore. So as you can see now, I came out of that phase. Um, I'm a lot happier now. I'm definitely on the path to being happy. I mean, ultimately, at the end of every day, you get to decide whether or not you're happy, and I can say that, um, especially lately, I've been happier than I have been in the past. Hold on, I'm really tired. Just give me a second. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's essentially what Day of Silence means to me. It's really important because I just want kids who are like me to know that people are supporting them. I want them to know that there are people out there like them. I want them to not feel isolated. I want people who are being bullied, like, I want those kids to know that it's the bully's problem, it's not theirs. And that eventually the bullying does end, and hopefully it's something that doesn't stick with you forever. I mean, obviously those things affect you, but hopefully you make the decision to come out of it a stronger, better person, because that's your choice. What you take from every experience is your choice. So if you're being bullied and if you just think that you can't handle it, it's your choice to either um, stand up and say that you're not going to take it, or sit down and let it define you. Anyway, so I'll see you guys next week. Um, Comment on this video letting me know if you'll participate in the Day of Silence, and like if you've ever been bullied, you should make a video response or something. That'd be really cool. Um, Tell us your story. I'm sure we'd love to hear it. Um, it's just really important to make your voice heard, especially in a time like right now when things are changing.